Picture this. You've finally found the time to cook a beautiful dinner. You've got all the ingredients prepped, the mood is set, everything is going absolutely perfectly. And then, without warning, beep, it's literally the most dreaded sound in the kitchen. Your induction cooktop just completely shuts down. You look down, and instead of that nice, steady, simmering heat, you're just staring at a mysterious flashing error code on the digital display. It is incredibly frustrating, right? In that moment, you're not just dealing with an interrupted meal. You're looking at a ruined dinner and wondering if your ridiculously expensive kitchen appliance is just completely broken. It's this awful feeling of helplessness because you have absolutely no idea what went wrong or, more importantly, how to fix it. But actually, there is a secret here that completely changes how you look at this problem.
See, your induction cooktop is an incredibly advanced, smart piece of technology. And because it's so smart, it's actually trying to help you out. That flashing code isn't just some random glitch. It's communicating. It literally talks to you in its own special language, a language of error codes. So today, we're going to act as your personal translation manual for this explainer. We are going to decode exactly what your cooktop is trying to tell you, what it needs, and how you can get right back to cooking.
Section 1. Decoding your induction cooktop.
Section 2. Quick fixes, power and pans. Let's start with the absolute easiest DIY fixes. When you see an E0 code pop up, just take a deep breath. This is really just your cooktop's friendly way of saying, hey, something is wrong with the basic setup. Usually this points to an issue with the power supply or, honestly, much more commonly, your cookware. And this perfectly illustrates the whole core requirement of induction technology. Unlike a traditional gas flame or, a glowing electric coil, induction cooktops use a magnetic field to directly heat the pot itself. So your pan absolutely must be magnetic. If a regular old fridge magnet sticks firmly to the bottom of your pan, you are good to go. But it also needs a perfectly flat bottom for proper contact, and crucially, it needs to be the right size. If your pan is smaller than 12 centimeters or larger than 26 centimeters, the sensors simply cannot detect it properly, and boom, you get that E0 error. Take a look at the layout of a typical induction surface, like this new wave model. Notice those defined heating circles? Because the heat is generated through electromagnetic coupling, the physical contact between the flat, magnetic base of your pan and that specific circular zone needs to be really precise. If it's sitting off-center, or if the pan is warped even just a tiny bit, the magnetic field gets disrupted and the cooktop immediately shuts down just to protect itself.
Section 3. The E1 versus E5 dilemma.
Okay, let's dive into the absolute most misunderstood nuance in all of induction cooking. E1 and E5 reflect fundamentally different system failures. People mix these up all the time, and I'll tell you, treating one like the other is going to lead you right down a troubleshooting dead end. E1 indicates a thermal failure. This means the actual power electronics inside the machine are overheating. This usually happens because the ventilation grills in the back are blocked by dust or a tight cabinet, or maybe because you've just been simmering on maximum heat for way too long. On the flip side, E5 is an electromagnetic failure. It means the pan detection has failed. That's often due to a non-compatible pan, a warped base, or even just a thin film of grease disrupting that magnetic connection. So one is about heat, the other's all about magnets. And because the root causes are totally different, the fixes are totally different too. Your cooktop basically goes into a fault hold mode when these happen, and you have to perform a very specific soft reset to clear the firmware pathways. It's honestly kind of like entering a cheat code in a video game. For E1, you turn off the power at the panel, wait exactly 12 seconds, then hold down the power and the plus buttons for 5 seconds. But for E5, you need to wipe the zone perfectly clean, place a verified magnetic pan right in the dead center, and press start and timer simultaneously for 4 seconds. You are quite literally speaking the machine's specific language to tell it the problem is solved.
Section 4. Stop unplugging your cooktop.
So, what do most people do when they don't know those secret soft reset codes? They get frustrated, reach behind the counter, and just yank the plug right out of the wall. Or they run to the basement to flip the circuit breaker. Well, industry service data actually reveals a staggering number here. A massive 72% of all E1 and E5 returns and service calls involve users unnecessarily unplugging their units. It's literally the #1 cause of repeat errors and weird phantom issues. Let's look at exactly why yanking that cord is such a terrible idea.
Modern induction platforms store absolutely critical calibration data in their memory, things like specific thermal response curves. When you do a hard reboot by unplugging it, you completely erase that non-volatile memory. The cooktop actually has to relearn how to heat up, which introduces a temperature drift of roughly 3.2 degrees Celsius. Now, I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but it is entirely enough to scorch your delicate sauces or completely ruin a nice reduction.
That is exactly why engineers from brands like Bosch, Miele, and GE explicitly prohibit circuit breaker resets. You should always use the soft reset because it preserves your sensor integrity and keeps your cooking ultra-precise.
Section 5. Sensors and overheating issues. Speaking of sensor integrity, these machines are packed with internal thermal sensors that constantly measure heat. We're talking millisecond by millisecond, just to keep you safe. When the overall internal environment gets too hot, you're typically going to see an E2 or E3 code. These are your standard overheating warnings. The fix here is wonderfully simple, but it does require a little bit of patience. Just turn the unit off, check the ventilation holes, move that dish towel or cookbook you accidentally shoved against the back wall, and then just walk away. Give it a solid 10 minutes to cool down before you try again. Now, for the DIY troubleshooters out there who want to know if their internal temperature sensor is actually functioning properly, you can test it. You pull the sensor, which looks a bit like a diode, and grab your digital multimeter. Set the meter to 200K ohms. When you touch the leads at normal room temperature, it should read somewhere right around 100K ohms. Next, carefully apply some heat to the sensor. Because it's an NTC, which stands for negative temperature coefficient thermistor, you will literally watch the resistance value on the meter drop as the temperature goes up. If the numbers don't move at all or if they just read 0, well, your sensor is dead and definitely needs replacing.
Section 6. When to call a pro. And that brings us to a really definitive, non-negotiable boundary. There is a huge difference between clearing a soft reset or testing a loose sensor and dealing with a potentially dangerous internal fault. These are what we call the danger zones. If you do the proper soft reset and you let the unit cool down, but E1 or E2 just keeps coming back, you likely have failing thermal paste on the internal heatsink. If you see E6, your internal cooling fan is broken, and trying to cook is just going to fry the electronics. And if you see F codes like F3, F4, F9, or FA, this indicates a catastrophic failure of the induction coil itself or the IGBTs. Those are the heavy-duty power transistors that basically run the entire machine.
In these specific instances, ignoring the code and trying to force the machine to keep cooking could literally cost you 40% of the unit's replacement value, or much worse, cause a major safety hazard. So the crucial takeaway here is super clear. When internal safety components fail, the only safe thing to do is unplug the cooktop and call an authorized service center. Cracking open the casing to deal with high-voltage electronics is strictly a job for the professionals, no exceptions.
Section 7. The ultimate checklist. So let's summarize this little journey from confusion to confidence so you know exactly what to do next time. Here is your ultimate 4-step checklist. First, always check the power connection. Second, verify your pan with a magnet. Make sure it's flat and the right size, between 12 and 26 centimeters. That'll cure your E0 codes. Third, if you see thermal codes like E1, E2, or E3, check those vents, clear the airflow, do the proper soft reset for your model, and allow a full 10-minute cooldown. And finally, step 4. If you get persistent faults or any of those scary F codes, stop cooking and call a professional.
Now, while we've definitely given you the universal grammar of induction technology today, remember that every single brand, whether we're talking NutriChef, New Wave, Gasland, or Bosch, they all speak their own slightly different dialect. The absolute ultimate dictionary for your specific machine is always going to be the user manual that came in the box. Definitely keep that thing handy.
Understanding how our machines communicate with us takes away so much frustration and just makes our daily life smoother. It's a real game changer. And it honestly makes you wonder about the rest of the stuff in your kitchen. What other household appliances do you wish came with a secret translation guide? Seriously, think about that the next time your dishwasher makes a strange hum or your fridge starts randomly blinking. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and here's to happy, error-free cooking.